Hello, everybody. We're Group 7, and our research topic was social media and academic success. My name is Katie Tepsic.
I'm Donovan Keys.
I'm Eden Madison.
And I'm Katherine Robinson.
So, as I mentioned before, our topic is social media and academic success. So, our research question specifically was how does the use of social media affect the academic performance of college students? And then our hypothesis was if social media usage is increased, then students' academic performance will decrease. So, why do we care and why should you care? First of all, we live in the social media age, and the amount of iPad kids is growing at a rapid rate, and that is directly impactful to everybody. So if we can see if there is a direct correlation between your usage of social media or just electronic devices in general can help you to improve your academic performance, that is ideal for our society.
And so going into a little bit of the literature review, just these are some of the key articles that kind of highlight our points. So this first article, the authors found that prolonged social media use can lead to social media fatigue, and of course the social media fatigue is not good, can lead to other issues. And then Eden has the second article that we could talk about.
Yeah, thank you, Donovan. The second article that I found was how critical thinking ability in students is affected by the amount that they're using social media. So that's like how you analyze information and how you make judgments can be affected by like too much use of social media. I'm going to pass it back off to Donovan.
And so just the final article and the key point that we highlighted is that um or excuse me that the authors highlighted is that the increased social media use can decline academic performance, but it can also domino into other things, into mental health issues like anxiety and depression that will essentially just worsen your academic performance even more and your social anxiety even more, which definitely does not help.
For this survey, we used Question Pro, and we distributed our data through text messages, emails, through the Canvas, through like our class stuff, and through social media. Our target audience was college students, so we sent all of it directly to students that we knew were in college and stuff.
So just looking at some of the demographic information, so we collected a total of 121 responses. Breaking that down a little further, we had about 78 females and 43 males take our survey. And breaking it down even further, we had about 5 freshmen, 11 sophomores, 44 juniors, 51 seniors, and surprisingly enough, 10 fifth years. So we had a very big range of demographics to help kind of see what our results would look like.
Thank you, Catherine. The questions that we kind of created for this were a few open-ended questions. We had a scale question. We had a feeling face question. So, like how you feel about how much you're using social media. We had a self-reported behavior one, which I believe was our GPA question, and then we had an opinion question as well. Um, Social media use was measured through the question, how many hours a day do you spend on social media? We found that that was like the best uh, question to get the message through. And then for academic success, we used a self reported question by finding out the student's GPA.
So, onto the results. I'm gonna read out the questions and I'm gonna kind of dissect our graphs here. So on the left with the blue graph is on average, how many hours a day do you spend on social media? The majority of our responses coming in at 38% said around 2 to 3 hours, which I feel like is a fairly normal time to be spending doing free activities on your phone, computer, whatever it may be. And then on the right here, we have on average, how many hours a week do you spend on schoolwork? And a whopping 43.8% said 6 or more hours. So balancing 6+ hours on schoolwork and 2 to 3-ish hours on social media is definitely a lot to go into every day, especially as a college student. But it looks like our results might be decently okay going forward. So then our next graphs on the left here, do you think you are dependent or addicted to social media? 53.7, so almost 54% of our 120 responses said yes, which is quite interesting. If you look at the next graph over here, how do you feel about your ability to manage your time between social media and schoolwork? 41% said they were okay, and then a good chunk of the rest of them said that they were neutral or not, like not very bad, but like pretty bad. So I don't know, like it's kind of a confusing statistic, but then we'll look here at the next slide has our average GPA. So the average GPA of all of our participants was 3.38, which is a pretty good GPA. So the test we ran ended up being the Pearson's correlation test, and it actually had a negative correlation between GPA and hours spent on social media, which was shocking considering over 50% said that they were addicted to social media use, and the majority of them said 2 hours or more spent on social media every week or day. Very interesting.
So going into the discussion part of our survey, or so from our like piggybacking off what Katie said, over 50% of students say that they're addicted to social media, which is quite concerning, honestly. In an age of technology where technology is being integrated more and more to our everyday lives, whether it's a screen in the car, looking at your phone, the computer, TV, there's so much technology being used, and yet we find a way to integrate new ways to put social media in, which is quite unique from our perspective. And so the next point I'll make is that the highest percentage of students just feel okay about their time management with school and social media. Going from high school to college can be a very big jump. It's like it can be a whole new lifestyle, balancing your social life, balancing your academic life, balancing your extracurricular activities. All of these can be a struggle, and um, with the increasing pressure for newer students, it can be difficult, and it could lead to worsening system. And so I'll toss it to Ian for our question.
Thank you. Does addiction directly impact GPA, or is it a broader issue affecting overall student wellness? Um, I can kind of talk about that a little bit more on the next slide. We through that we found a couple implications through our study. The use of social media might not be the direct correlation to decline in academic success. As far as self-reported bias, data was self-reported. Some people may not have used accurate ratings because they feel one way or another about the study. And then for future studies, we said that by assigning students regulations to track the difference it might make in their academics. So um, maybe like one semester having a student have like a lot of contact with social media and tracking their GPA, and then the next semester no social media and tracking their GPA that way.
So moving along to the conclusion. So for our main findings, so we found that obviously there was a negative correlation between social media and GPA. So overall, most students reported that they had good management. A majority believed that they managed their time effectively between school and social media. That said, a lot of people did indicate, majority, that they had some sort of either dependency or addiction to social media. There are notable instances of social media addiction and dependency from our survey results, like I just said, which I think is very interesting to kind of see. Just looking back at our usage statistics, so students were spending an average of 2 to 3 hours on social media per day and about 6+ hours on homework per day. Some of our key takeaways were the impact of academics. So the study showed a negative correlation between social media and GPA, but I think it's interesting to just see how people self-report versus what you can observe in your area. Regarding time management, um, most participants reported good time management. However, like I said before, a significant portion did struggle with social media dependency. And then just looking back one more time at the usage patterns, we're averaging about 2 to 3 hours on social media daily, but it's balanced against a very impressive 6+ hours of homework daily. Um, for our implications, one would just be to encourage mindful social media use. It can overall probably improve academic incomes, whether or not we're really all that aware of it. Support systems or tools that help in managing our social media dependency and addiction can be beneficial. A really good example of this would be our screen time feature on your apps on Apple that comes with Apple products. It allows you to be able to see how much time you're spending on social media. I'm not sure if Android or other users have that, but I'm sure there is similar features that you can use to kind of track that. And even going as far as to limiting yourself to have it shut off after a certain amount of time can be helpful and just being more mindful and aware of how much social media you are using. Regarding future research, it might be interesting to explore how different interventions can impact social media habits, or study the long-term effects of dependency on academic performance and personal development. And just for some final thoughts, as social media becomes more of an integral part of our lives, I think it's crucial to find a balance that both supports personal well-being and academic success. Awareness and intentionality in managing our time can make all the difference. And overall, I feel like it's very helpful to prioritize our social media use by setting boundaries, using those tools that we are given to help tackle our use and arguably sometimes overuse, and just being able to support our peers in maintaining a healthy balance between our digital engagement and academic responsibilities. And then together we can turn social media from a distraction to a tool for personal growth. Thank you.